released to actually cover what had happened yesterday, and as a PA resident, I feel like it'd probably be better for me since I'm the one who lives 30 minutes away from this fairgrounds that this shooting took place at. Fucking insane and diabolical is what I have to say on this. It's honestly one of those things that you can't joke about, that you can't like even make up in any fucking any form of imagination that you fucking have that it would happen in 2024. I mean, the last time we saw an attempted assassination that failed was on Ronald Reagan. And it's one of those things, it's like, what the fuck? So, quick backstory. Thomas Matthew Crooks was apparently the shooter. Where as more information's getting released, I've been putting together a lot of things. Apparently there is another guy named Mark Violets being posed as an Antifa member or someone who was arrested there as well. I don't know how true that is, so don't quote me on anything in that term. But yeah, this happened at 6:11 last night at the Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. I live 30 minutes away from there, and it is one of the most concerning aspects. Joined with General Kirov and a guy who's from outside of the country, pretty much looking in on this, who he actually has some good points about it. Kirov, you want to go ahead and say hi? Dutch guy?
Hello.
So yeah. This entire thing has literally come as a shock to a lot of people, and it's pretty well known, and there's a lot of things coming out, there's a lot of things getting revealed about a secret call or a function that Trump had, or Biden had a few weeks ago after the debate, and they said, let's stop talking about the debate, that's not my concern right now, let's put Trump in our bullseye. Now, that can be taken two ways. That can be taken as, let's make sure that we can win this election, or let's legitimately put Trump in someone's crosshairs. Let's send someone to kill Trump. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened, but I mean, with how politics goes in the U.S. and how it's been going, people, you know, the news constantly playing Trump and saying, oh, he's a neo-Nazi, or he's a white supremacist, or shit like that. That's what's causing things like this to actually come to fruition and make things like this shit happen. And I mean, there's a video already posted apparently from the guy who they killed, and people are passing it around. I don't know how true the video is, but I mean, it's hard to fake something like that in that much time.
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans. I hate Trump. And guess what? You got the wrong guy.
God.
They identified him. Holy fuck. Oh my fucking god, Kirov! I'm sending you this right now on fucking Snapchat.
What?
I can't make this shit up. Dude, I can't make that shit up. Dude. I cannot make that shit up, Kirov. Yeah. Look at that.
Shit.
Oh my fucking god.
Yo,
Mm-hmm. The shooter
man,
is
what
in
if we,
gray. The shooter is in gray in the bottom left. They look nothing alike. Like they have a similar chin, but that's it.
yo, yo, Soivan, can I send you something real quick on like PSF? Trying to get your snap.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a message. Hope it doesn't appear on your fucking live stream or what.
It won't. It'll put a black box over it. Just sent you a friend request.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck man, which one was it?
What was that?
Which one was your snap? Yeah, sorry for interrupting though.
Send me a text real quick. I can send it to you.
Fuck me man. Don't even go your fuck. Send another if you can.
Another what? Friend request?
Yeah.
There.
Oh yeah, that's you.
The shooter is the guy in gray. I'm
Oh yeah.
guessing blue is Thomas Matthew.
Hmm. Yeah, they
There,
look very much different. Yeah.
there has to be something going on here, bro.
Yeah. Some crazy shit.
I didn't have any interaction with him, but he was like
I need a clear.
Oh yeah. Man, do you think the Russians are involved? If you ask me, I think
Why would they
yeah.
attempt one this far away from their country, too?
Well, on Trump for that matter. Why not Biden or something? Right. And we all know Putin does not want to end the war. His economy, his country's economy relies on it.
The ears look completely different. And the hair's not even the same length.
Could have been like a different picture, but like an older picture. But yeah, those guys must be like two different people, definitely.
No, that's not... The shooter isn't who they're saying it is.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But we can't take away from the fact of it not possibly being an outlying terrorist organization, or hell, even a domestic terrorist organization like Antifa, something that we've seen them try to do.
Man,
Really, Primes? That's the thing. Something... The more I'm seeing pictures of the shooter in the face, and the guy that they're saying, oh, it's Thomas Crooks. It's Thomas Crooks. The guy who's being labeled as Thomas Crooks doesn't look anything like the shooter, and doesn't look... There's similarities, but there's not enough to base something off of that and say this is what's truly... This is who truly is Thomas Crooks. You know what I'm saying? So there's something deeper going on, and there's something... There's got to be a reason why State Police and or Secret Service didn't have that building closed off, didn't have something there as a failsafe. People reported saying to police that, hey, there's a guy bear crawling up this building. There's this guy crawling up this building. We can see him. He looks like he has a gun. They ignored that. There was something planned by someone who obviously had either enough money or knew a lot more people to get either the police, the Secret Service, someone to turn a blind eye to this. And like that's what doesn't sit right with me right now. Because this is like, there's too many things pointing in multiple different directions to even say what's true and what's not true.
mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Why didn't they had people on the roof adjacent to it? Why didn't they have people automatically on that roof as well. That person should have had no way to get up on that roof. The shooter should have had no way to get up on that roof, get into a literal vantage point over a person who's currently a former and a running for the office of President of the United States. Again, there's things pointing to, like, oh, Biden saying, let's put Trump in a crosshair. Stop. We're not talking about the debate anymore. Let's put Trump in a crosshair. The news constantly painting Trump as he's Adolf Hitler, he's going to take away your freedoms, to a marginalized group, and I'm talking about the letter organization. Not going to say anything because, first off, YouTube's not kind to that, so can't say anything on that one. But the major aspect here is the fact that it's getting to a point of what the hell is actually going on.
Your point on like putting
Yeah.
that's what also my final is you have the in the 18th leader,
Yeah.
Democrats within you have or
That's what I'm saying. It it comes to this point where it's impossible to, like, pass the fact, and how many people that are sitting there, because I've seen multiple posts of people like saying, oh, this needs to happen again, but they need to have better aim this time, shit like that. And it's
No
like, I
fucking
mean,
way.
honestly, at that point, I would be taking those posts, finding where those people live, and arresting them. Those are literally terroristic threats. Those are threats to assassinate a person who's running for office who is a former president.
I mean, that's what I fucking see wrong with this whole entire ordeal. That, like, everyone, doesn't, all fucking denounce this whole entire tragedy. It's all just pointing fingers, or it's an inside job. It's all that. You get what I mean?
Yeah, believe me, I know what you mean. This, like, this takes me back to the riots that happened in Portland. You remember when they took how many square blocks in Portland and said that they're their own country,
I think I remember that.
they're their own country, they have their own laws, and
Yeah.
police wouldn't do anything, they wouldn't call in National Guard to help with that. It was one of those things that's like, someone's aiding these people, and it's not good. It's not good at all.
Yeah.
And it's one of these things that it's like, if shit pops off, believe me, things are going to pop off. Not right now. Maybe not 3 years down the road, 4, 5, 10. Things are gonna pop off, and things are not gonna look good for those civilians that just want to live and not be affected by this 24/7. Because that's what it's turning into. It's turning into this thing that it's like,
Finally.
we're sitting here and we're slowly watching our country burn And
because you know some had to have potentially killed. And what he did, there was a motion that they were they would try.
Stridsställningar.
Anmäla! Spare inkopplad. Skjut inkopplad!
Sabeln inkopplad.
Yeah. If you ask me, he strikes like the Crooks guy. He strikes me as like a fucking like a school shooter type, you know. The way his mannerisms, the way he speaks, you know. No, I'm not saying everyone that looks like Crooks is a school shooter or is ever going to become one. Without them. He strikes me as like a extremist, definitely.
yeah,
As he,
they let him on the roof, and people warned police about it. So things are opening up now. One of the people that I'm in a Discord server with, it's a political Discord channel, and I mean it's filled with Democrats, it's filled with Republicans, it's filled with liberals, conservatives, things like that. They're all saying that this guy was let onto the roof and was given the ability to be up there, so this had to have been planned for a decent while.
knows?
There isn't any way for this to have not been planned for any, like, insignificant amount of time than what's already been going on. Because they go to those places and they go and they survey them before they even think about letting a president or a presidential candidate go there.
Especially like how it went.
Oh yeah, believe me.
Like this is like some criminal incompetence on their part.
This is something that they're not gonna want to talk about, but it needs talked about.
Definitely.
And it's weird to the point of this takes it kind of takes us back to the days of JFK's assassination. No one knew who the shooter was. All they did was released false information on a shooter, and it comes out to find out that maybe it wasn't Oswald that assassinated the president. And that's the thing that I find sort of like unnerving about our own government, is that they practically hide things like this from us. And it's one of those things that people can't really ignore. We ignore it too long, it's going to become too much of a issue. We ignore it too little and press it, it's going to become an issue. There's no like in between.
Exactly, like you can ignore it, then it gets worse. If you try to say something against it, try to whistle blow, there maybe consequences.
Exactly. There's no right way to go about it. There's no wrong way to go about it. But there is at the same time.
Yeah.
And coming from someone who's been to that location, who's been there for like, hell, Christmas lights, I've been there for like baseball games, baseball meets, things like that. And it's one of those places that you're not a dummy. You can see where people might sit at. You can see where things might go down at.
Oh, you've been to the place
Yes,
where the shooting happened?
I've been to that fairground before. It's a that place in PA was already a fairly known place, and now people going there, it's gonna have a different feeling.
For sure.
People going to a place that a president had an assassination attempt at, yeah, it's gonna feel weird going there. And it's one of the it's a scary thing that's happened in our modern day now.
Like this shouldn't, something like this I would expect from like the fucking 1960s or some shit, you know? Like even
Back
like
when there
later than
was
that.
fears that were understandable, like fears of people being communist, fears of, you know, oh, my neighbor is a fucking communist? Okay, let me turn him into the police so he gets investigated. Or
Yeah.
back during the 1930s, oh, my neighbor might be a Nazi? Let me turn him into the police, or let me kick his ass. Shit like that, when there
Yeah.
were understandable fears of something actually worth fearing.
Yeah, I mean,
No one can take your rights from you when you live inside the United States. There is a reason, and this is something that I try to explain to people who are like, oh, let's take the Second Amendment away so that then gun violence goes down. You're not
yeah.
going to be able to live freely if you remove an amendment that is there to as a failsafe in case something happens within government or within the populace of your own country.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine what, this tragedy, this whole entire fucking ordeal is going to do between like left and right relationships, which is already,
That's
bloody terrible.
that's why I started saying this has just started a war. This incident, this terrible, diabolical, and sick incident that cost, I've been hearing now 2 people have died, one is still in critical condition. So I'm just going to say 1 death, 2 in critical right now, until I have a confirmed that yes, 2 people have died, or no, 1 person is the only one dead, the other 2 are still in critical. Um, that nearly cost 3 people in a former president running for re-election their life. And that's where this comes in. And yes, I will say this. Trump at that moment was guarded by God. There is nothing that can defend against that and say no, Trump wasn't. Because if he would have kept his head still, he probably wouldn't be alive right now.
Oh.
And for those that are saying it was staged by Trump, or by someone helping Trump, trying to help Trump to win, you're not going to find anyone in the sane mind that's going to take that close of a shot to someone's head to try and, make it look staged that, oh, I was aiming for him, but I missed and accidentally hit 2 others, and then, I just had to sit there and wait for his guards to kill me. You're not going to find anyone to do that.
Yeah.
You're not. And that's what I find funny is that there are people that actually believe that it was an inside job, that Trump did it for publicity to get reelected, and it's one of the most scary things that we could even imagine. Kirov, you have anything?
Well, I mean, the one thing that I been plausible, like his ancestors.
Right.
Hold on, Lost Boy. Lost
Okay.
Boy. I just want to say right now, I'm currently live, so don't say anything that could get my stream taken down.
I
Alright.
mean, yeah, I gotta agree with you. Could have been maybe been an inside job, maybe, or like a publicity stunt. I mean, other government entities have been, known to do shit like that.
I don't think it was an inside job from Trump's aspect, from Trump's side of things. I think it was an inside job from the left side of things. But I'm not gonna base my opinions off of how I feel about the
Right.
left. I'm not gonna like, oh, this has happened before. The person who killed Abraham Lincoln being a Republican. The guy who killed him was a Democrat who was angry that he signed the Emancipation Proclamation. It's an entirely new world, and the fact that we're still doing this in 2024. It's astonishing. Last presidential
Saddening.
assassination attempt was Ronald Reagan back in 1981. The last person to actually be assassinated who was a high figure was RFK, Robert F. Kennedy. It's There's something going on. There's something deeper that we're not being told. There's something that's being hidden from us, and it's something that we as Americans can't like sit back and let happen again. Because I'm sorry, when I was in school and people were talking about how, oh, they're gonna debate soon and shit like that, the first debate that they had, and then this last debate, I said, I don't feel right about this. I don't feel like Trump should be going out into public without a bulletproof case around him. Someone's gonna try to assassinate him.
Yeah.
Whether it be people from our own government, someone who is just trying to do what the news is telling him to do, someone who is listening to the news too closely and listening and believing in that, oh, Trump is Adolf Hitler, oh, Trump is this bad guy, he's gonna take your freedoms. It's scary. So rash and in such a public place too.
So it was adamant that he should finish his
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I give the man props. Many people shit on Trump because he's the first non-career politician. He's the first person that's actually strived to make a change within the United States from a econ aspect and a government aspect. He's tried to change so much.
Yeah.
And he's tried to show people how America should be run, how it shouldn't be ran by these career politicians. I mean, look at major city demographics for a second. Look at the mayors of precincts that are predominantly poor. And I will pull a little bit of race into this because black communities that live in the predominantly poor areas vote in the same people one after another because they get lied to, they get used by the Democratic side. The leader of BLM, and this is what actually changed half of BLM's viewpoint to want Trump in office again. When Joe Biden got elected, he said he was going to meet with BLM, with the leader of BLM, and have a sit-down talk with him. That never came. Meanwhile, Trump has given millions to BLM organizations, people for black rights, things like that. And it's one of those things that when I sit back and I watch the news, or I see these clips on YouTube, or I see these posts on Facebook, Instagram of Trump being a racist, of Trump being against black rights or being prejudiced against blacks. Trump wasn't the one who sat and said about how he let little black kids come up and play with his leg hairs while he was in the pool. That was Biden.
Yeah.
That was Biden. And actually,
Yeah.
he used a derogatory term against them. He called them roaches.
Yeah.
And it shows you that the news, honestly, needs to be remade, needs to be shut down for a while, and we need to go by either the government coming out and saying it, and it has to be from someone who's non-biased. Because I'm sorry, before the assassination attempt, I was watching a video on how older news is different than modern news, how the older news told the truth without biases or
Yeah.
using emotions or grabbing a hold of people's emotions to sway them to a different side.
Yeah, I mean, like, in my opinion, the best thing you could do is like try some foreign news outlets. It's what I would do.
That's what many people have recommended, but I think we just need to reconstruct our news systems as a whole with how things are in the world today. Because everything started as cable news. Everything started as you tuned into this news channel at this time for this news and had your dinner while you were watching the news. You watched what was going on in the world, you watched what was going on within your country, you watched for things like stock markets, things like that.
You know how most people think that we are right now, that we are now in the age of information, such, with our easy access, social media and platforms and our phones and whatnot. But that's slowly fading away, because right now we're just going into the age of disinformation, especially with all this AI generated shit.
There's something that honestly struck me when it did come out, and that was the Call of Duty Cold War trailer using a KGB defector, Yuri Bezmenov. The thing that Bezmenov was talking about was a KGB psyop and psychological warfare sort of way to take over a country from the inside out.
Yeah.
You start by infecting its government, and then you infect its people. You split the government, you split the people more than it already was. Because back then, people weren't really split. Left and right, yes, they had differences, but they still got together and they still got along. When it came to the point of phones being introduced, apps like Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, X, fucking Vine, YouTube, news sources that can be put on the phones, World Wide Web, that sort of stuff. That's when active measures can be enacted and take a lot quicker pace than what Yuri Bezmenov made known to us back in the 1960s, 1970s. When Yuri Bezmenov said about active measures being a multi-stage step that can take multiple years to complete, like we're talking say 10-15 years max for the entire thing of active measures to take place and be fully complete. 3-stage progress You cannot go to the next stage before completing the first stage of that thing. All right. I'm gonna pull it up real quick so I can actually go more in depth about the 3 stages.
Right.
Sorry, 4 steps. The last step is kind of just, it's a thing that is normal across board. So, first step, demoralization. It educates the younger generation into believing different than the older generation and indoctrinating them to a different way of living to split the population even more. We actually saw this, and this is where the Soviets got this from, during World War II, when the Nazis would split parents up from their kids and told kids, if your parents don't believe in Nazi ideologies, turn them into the Gestapo, the Wehrmacht, the SS, whatever.
Yeah.
That's how they were able to take over the country more, because they would get put into schools that were controlled by Nazi politicians, people who supported Nazi ideologies, and would subvert the kids into believing, oh yes, Adolf Hitler is a very good man, let's follow him. When in reality, it was just to help the progression and Nazification of Germany at the time. Step 2 is destabilization. This targets a country's foreign relations, defense, and economy. We've already seen that within the past 4 years of Biden's terms. We've seen the demoralization phase, and now we've seen the destabilization phase. Our foreign relations suck with other countries, our economy sucks, and our defense budgets suck. Crisis. And this is where our stage of crisis begins. This is where we begin the stage of we're in crisis. 6 weeks of crisis to be exact. But that can be easily narrowed down to 2-3 weeks of crisis due to social media. Start small. Reggie, we're talking politics. I'm live on YouTube. Don't say anything like bad. We're talking about what happened yesterday. The entire action of the Soviet Union's active measure system was to quietly infiltrate and take over a country without firing a single bullet, unless needed. Step 4, normalization. Changes the appreciation of what the status quo looks like. Also includes military takeover. What that means, Big Brother comes in, Big Brother government being the United States government, sends out things like National Guard, people who can be mobilized on U.S. soil. And they start to either A, set up little martial law stations and send out patrols of fucking armed up Humvees down streets and shit like that. They start to fuck with the Constitution. That's where we get into things like how we are today. It's one of those things that honestly, I can understand why it would have taken so quick to do what they wanted. Kirab, you got anything? Dutch guy?
No comment right now.
Alright, that's probably going to be it for today. Or for right now until I get more information. I may go live later on in the night as more information unfolds. I will keep everyone posted as I leave July 30th for Marine Corps Boot Camp, so after the 30th I will not be posting for a decent while because I'll be too focused on my career in the Marine Corps. Once I find out my A station, get everything set up there, get my barracks room set up there, I'll probably either post a short or post a little video. Yeah. It's been off right now, so we're gonna head off right now. Wait for more information to come out.